Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat, sa ating mga kapatid sa gobyerno, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kaguro, nawa ay nasa maayos kayong kalagayan saan man kayo naroroon, at saan man kayo naaabot ng ating video. For today's video ay pag-uusapan po natin, ang mga House Bills na naipasa sa huling pagbasa, at dalawa rito ang House Bill na may kinalaman sa Deped, isa sa benepisyo ng mga guro, at isa ay para sa pangkalahatang benepisyo ng buong ahensya ng Deped. Para sa buong detalye, panoorin ang bidyong ito. At kung bago po kayo sa ating channel, mangyaring paki-subscribe, like, and share, at paki-hit na rin po ng notification bell para maging updated po kayo ng mga ganitong information, at narito ang detalye. The House of Representatives under the leadership of Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez delivered its promise of approving on third and final reading the remaining 7 priority measures mentioned by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in his 2023 SONA. House Bill No. 8525, or the proposed Tatak Pinoy, Proudly Filipino Act, seeks to mandate the formulation, financing, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of the Tatak Pinoy Strategy or TPS, that aims to systematically expand and diversify the productive and capabilities of local enterprises and empower them to compete in the global market. House Bill No. 9647, aims to optimize the utilization of the Motor Vehicle Road Users Tax (MVRUT), and raise additional revenues to help fund government programs and address traffic congestion. House Bill No. 9648, or the proposed new Government Procurement Reform Act, seeks to amend the decades-old General Procurement Act to make the government procurement process more transparent, cost-effective, faster, and efficient, in accordance with the ideals of good governance. House Bill No. 9662, or the proposed Blue Economy Act, seeks to create a framework for ocean-based and ocean-related economic activities within the Philippine maritime zones which include fisheries, aquaculture, mariculture, coastal tourism, shipping, logistics and maritime support, shipbuilding and ship repair, and maritime transport, among others. The measure defines Blue Economy as the integrated, holistic, cross-sectoral, and cross-stakeholder approach for the sustainable, resilient, and inclusive use and management of oceans, marine and coastal resources and ecosystems for economic growth using green infrastructure and technologies. House Bill No. 9663, seeks to create the Department of Water Resources which shall be the primary agency responsible for the planning and policy formulation towards the attainment of universal access to safe, adequate, affordable, and sustainable water supply, and improved sanitation services for all Filipinos. House Bill No. 9673, seeks to revise the Cooperative Code of the Philippines to make it more responsive to the current needs and concerns of the cooperative sector. House Bill No. 9674, aims to revise the antiquated Government Auditing Code of the Philippines by aligning it with international accounting and auditing standards. The measure also aims to enhance the independence and effectiveness of the Commission on Audit as the supreme audit institution of the country by reorganizing its structure and defining the powers and functions of the sectors within the organization. Likewise passed on final reading are the following bills of national significance. House Bill No. 9034, seeks to establish the Archipelagic Sea Lanes (ASLs) in the Philippine archipelagic waters to prevent arbitrary international passage in the Philippine archipelago. House Bill No. 9430, aims to strengthen further the rights of workers to self-organization by modifying the restrictions in the process of union formation as provided in the Labor Code. House Bill No. 9506, seeks to establish a rental housing subsidy program that will enable informal settler families to access the formal housing market and facilitate the temporary relocation of families who were displaced due to natural and man-made disasters. House Bill No. 9587, or the proposed Family Tree Planting Act, requires all parents to plant 2 trees for every child born to them as a requirement for the release of the birth certificate. The trees shall be planted within the premises of their own home or in an area to be designated by the Barangay Council where they reside, with approval of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, DENR. House Bill No. 9588, aims to mitigate climate change and promote environmental protection by mandating all graduating senior high and college students, except physically handicapped and those with special needs, to plant 2 trees each as prerequisite for graduation. House Bill Number 9682, 6 to grant all public school teachers a teaching supplies allowance for the following: purchase of tangible or intangible teaching supplies and materials, payment of incidental expenses, and implementation or conduct of various learning modalities. House Deputy Minority Leader and ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro welcomed the approval on third and final reading House Bill Number 9682, or the proposed Teaching Supplies Allowance Act, which would mandate Deped to give each teacher 7,500 pesos for the school year 2024 to 2025, and 10,000 pesos for school year 2025 to 2026 and onwards. This is one of my priority bills and I hope that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. would immediately sign it so that it would become law as soon as possible and public school teachers would have funds for the purchase of necessary teaching tools, said the teacher Solan. The cash allowance, which will be exempted from income tax, will be given to all public basic education teachers. Funding for the teaching supplies will come from the Department of Education's annual budget. At dito po nagtatapos ang ating video. Para po sa inyo mga kaguro, kung nagustuhan nyo po ang ating video, mangyaring mag-iwan ng inyong comment sa comment section sa ibaba, para po patuloy kayo maka-access ng latest information, mangyaring paki-subscribe, like at share para ma-notify po kayo ng mga latest updates. Maraming salamat po.
At meron isang batas rin na pumasa na ngayon sa Senado. Ito yung kabalikan sa pagtuturo Act, kung saan magitataas po yung teaching allowance. Alam ko, tinaas na po to 5,000, pero itataas po ulit to 7,500 for year 2023 to 2024, at 10,000 for year 2024-2025. At meron isang batas rin na pumasa na ngayon sa Senado. Ito yung kabalikan sa pagtuturo Act, kung saan magitataas po yung teaching allowance. Alam ko, tinaas na po to 5,000, pero itataas po ulit to 7,500 for year 2023 to 2024, at 10,000 for year 2024-2025. So pumasa na ito sa Senado, inaantay na lang po namin yung counterpart bill namin sa Kongreso. Pag yan po ay pumasa, may implement na po yan. So simple lang naman itong proposal na ito, pero kahit simple, tingin ko ito yung pinaka malakas ang panakpak